Hey everybody, this is Dog Dad Dave. Here in the back of the Cherokee, the Roke. So today we're building a sleeping platform. It's going to do a few things. One, it's going to allow for the biggest possible bed. Two, it's going to be able to fold back and get out of the way so you can still have a back seat. Three, it's going to fit over the spare tire because I don't have one of those cool, crazy overlander fucking things for my gigantic tire, so we need to keep the tire in here. And four, it'll completely come back out and be like nothing ever happened. That's my lighting. Can you stop it, starting it? Dimensions. Here's our dimensions. I'm getting about 71 inches. It'll probably be realistically 70 inches platform. That's what, 5'11", so I'm 5'8", so if you're shorter, you'll be able to sleep laid fully out. Width, at the narrowest point, the platform's only gonna be 48 inches, but the bed's gonna overhang, and that should be just fine, unless you sleep with all of your weight right in the crack. So the narrowest point is 52 inches. Really maybe more like 50 where the little hardware thing is. At the doors, it's 54 inches right here at the handles. And then back here is about 53. So a full-size mattress is 54 inches wide. And yeah, it'll essentially be 54 inches wide by 71 inches long. So 5'11" long. And then cut, just the littlest bit of trimming to get around this, so it'll be flush. So basically, you're gonna have a bed that completely encompasses this entire area, and it's gonna be fucking sick. Okay, we got our first part built after a whole bunch of cutting and measuring and screwing. This is the base for the first section of plywood. So this is what's going to live inside of the trunk all the time. Let's see if it fits. This is gonna sit right here around the tire, and it's gonna line up with these tie downs, so you can screw it down. It'll be nice and secure. All right, let's check and see if the seat folds up and we have the extra room we need for the plywood afterwards. Looks like I got a good 3/4 of an inch, which is what I need for a chunk of ply, and then up above a chunk of ply 3/4 inch up. 5 plus 24. I'll add like a 1/4 inch. I'm gonna do 24.5 and see if it works. Oh yeah, it'll easily swing. Yeah. Oh wait, we'll swing over here. It's a little closer, but yes, it will swing. So we're gonna cut plywood sections 1 and 2 into one piece. I know it's kind of confusing, but the reason being that then I can tell how high the leg needs to be on 2 while they're all one chunk. So let's cut out one piece, 55 inches. Okay, let's see how it fits. This is the first chunk and the second chunk, which is gonna get cut and then hinged, but I'm just gonna mount it and see how it looks. Oh, cut the camera. I have to edit all this out. Ready? Let me know when you're ready. Okay, so it sits in pretty flush, clears the wheel wells pretty much perfectly. I'm gonna have to cut these corners off, just literally like the last inch or two off the corners, so I can push it back as far as I want it. But it's basically flush with this, and seems to clear the tire, I guess. And yeah, so next step will be seeing how high we need the leg for the second section, and then cutting this thing in half at 30.5 inches. Okay, so we're here back at the job site, aka the Cherokee, and so this is day 2. We've done a lot. We've cut out, we built sections 1 and 2. We cut out section 3, and you can see it all fits in the back of the Cherokee, seat up. Super cool. I'm gonna have to do more work to make it actually stay in place, but let's see it convert and check out how this is looking for now. So this will be one piece of leg that's, you can put together and take apart. The third chunk. So got this hinged. Go to the other side. I don't think this shot's gonna work. Woo! Yeah, so I could cut off a little more and make that fit better around the seat belts, but I kind of don't want to lose much material here. But I could cut some more off. So that is the third chunk, which for now just sits right in there. Okay, so this is the third chunk. Right now it's just resting here, but we're gonna move this leg back and we're gonna hinge it so it goes down and up so that the whole thing can fold into the trunk. In order to do that, we have to cut out the we have to jigsaw out the little piece around the center console so it can swing up and down. So I'm just gonna go underneath, mark it off with a pin. So I'm cutting out the little void that will go around the center console. I went in and drew it, but I realized that it's way the hell off center. So as you can see, that's why I'm redrawing it right here. Can you see that? Cool. So we have section 3 attached with hinge. So it hinges up and sits there. You can see I cut holes. So we're gonna do kind of a little poor man's mortise and tenon leg attachments. So they should just sit in there. So I have to cut those legs now. Mark out little 3/4 of an inch squares on the top of these two 18-inch legs. This is so ugly. Should we see if this actually works?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Hey! Fits right in there.
Unbelievable.
So the leg screws together.
Yeah.
The ply on the bottom is upside down and the leg frame above it. But I need it to come apart so it can all go into the trunk flat. And so we're gonna fasten it together with T-nuts. So I have these screws in just for a second here. Pick a random point, drill through it. And I expand it a little bit for the T-nut side. very precise, as you can see. Put the T-nut in. Hammer it in. And this thing can thread in, fasten together, but then come apart. And this can sit flat on the, while it's in use or while it's in the trunk. All right, well, it's pretty much finished. I'm very tired. I spent way too long on this. So, as you can see, it all folds in. And let's check out how it turns into a bed. So, fold the seats down. So this is the base of the leg. Legs for the third one. And you'll see the trouble point is right here. Got the legs in place, and it's sturdy. Oh, now I'm gonna take a freaking nap on this thing. All right, let's test this out with some foam, huh? So this is foam that I cut to fit in the Cherokee without a platform, and now we leave it in the Subaru. So let's try putting it in the Cherokee, see how it works. Okay, so this is the foam that I cut for this very Cherokee, but to sit down below. It's kind of all misshapen from being in the Subaru and like being jammed underneath the seats, but it actually fills it out really nicely. I thought this was only gonna be 48 inches wide, but it looks wider. So yeah, fills up the whole length. This is not the foam that I'm going to cut to fit perfectly in here, but let's try it out for comfort, okay? Oh man, that is so nice. That is comfortable. You think we could both fit in this?
Oh yeah.
You think the dog could fit in here with me?
Definitely.
So the reason we have to have as big of a bed as possible in this Cherokee is because we have this 17-year-old dog, and so she can't go camping really inside of a tent anymore because she gets too freaking cold. Basically, we just have to make the biggest bed possible so that both of us, me and Amber, who's behind the camera, can both sleep in this thing and also put this little tiny dog somewhere in this bed. And yeah, this feels pretty freaking big. Will you close the trunk on me and see if my feet fit inside? How is it?
Oh, it's great. so comfortable. Action! Action!
Okay, YouTube, if you made it this far, I bet you're on the edge of your seat to find out how it went, aren't you? Well, we are done. As you can see, the bed is here. It's huge, and it's great. I ended up actually getting a piece of foam and cutting it out on this side, so you can see that this is totally flush and takes up all the space that you possibly could get, which is great, really huge. I anchored the whole thing down with turnbuckle screws. See down there. So I screwed D-rings onto the structure and then anchored them with turnbuckles. So this whole thing is just like super tight. Just moves the whole car. I got this little ratcheting screwdriver thing so I can get in and quickly assemble the leg for the second section. So that's really helpful. What did we learn?
What did we learn?
Well, I think the main lesson I learned is that next time you want to cut more space around everywhere where it might rub. So around the center console and around where it gets hung up on these seatbelt things, I would definitely cut like another inch of space into it, because honestly, once the freaking foam is on it, like it can completely handle the extra space. So you can see down here how much space I have around this little piece of plastic. I would probably have that much space everywhere, just because like no matter what you do, this thing's going to end up shifting a little bit, and yeah, like my cuts weren't actually straight, so you know the hinges were a little off. So
What else?
so another thing that I screwed up on was the hinge, the hinge between the first and the second piece. So I cut the things in a little bit, and then I screwed the freaking hinge on the full length of the hinge. So it's hard to explain, but I should have cut the hinge down first. I should have first cut the wood smaller than I did, then cut the hinge smaller than that, and then hooked them on instead of trying to cut the hinge afterwards, because it ended up being a god-awful cut. But I have another hinge, so if I want to redo it, I totally can. But I probably won't. But yeah, overall, I think this design works really well. I still think this is probably about the best design you can make to get the biggest bed you can in a Cherokee 4-door without much carpentry skills. So just out of like 2x4s and chunks of plywood and screws and shit. And that still folds back into your trunk so you can use your back seat. I still think it's probably about as good as I could have done. Just, I could have done it slightly better. You know, cut a little more space so it swung and folded easier. But overall, yeah, I'm super happy with it. So, I guess that's it, YouTube. See you next time. Although it's our first video, so maybe we'll never see it again.